Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are fine. God may bless us all. I'm here with another lecture of science. This is still for grade 6, and here the name of chapter, it's Photosynthesis and Respiration in Plants. This is chapter 3. Dear students, we already have done with the first question, and the question was a basic question that was describing what is chloroplast and what is chlorophyll. There we learned that inside the plant cells there are special characters which are known, or special organelles, tiny disc-like organelles which are known as chloroplast. They contain a green color pigment that is known as chlorophyll. Now chlorophyll is very important because without chlorophyll, the photosynthesis process will not take place, the plants will not be able to synthesize, no food will be prepared, or no oxygen will be prepared. So that means it's a process that is a life-giving process. If there is no glucose, there is no food. If there is no oxygen, there is no life. So photosynthesis is very important. Now question number 2 is here. I've not written question, but the question is define stomata. Now what is stomata? Firstly, you need to know that stomata is a plural word. Stomata is a plural. It's not a singular. It's yes, the singular of this word is stoma. Stoma is a small pore, specifically on the underside of the leaves. But here maybe at your level it's a bit different, because throughout the body of the plant there are small pores. So there are pores in the stem of the plant, there are pores in the leaves of the plant. So the leaves containing pores or like small holes, they are known as stomata. Whereas the holes which are present on the surface of stem of the plant, they are known as lenticels. So I have put it here as well. The tiny pores in the outer layer of the plant's stem are called lenticels, whereas and on the underside of the leaves are called stomata. That means tiny pores. The lenticels is not mentioned in the notes given to you, but maybe I'll just put it there. You have to keep in mind, because once you get into the higher classes, so this question will come in scene, that there are pores on the stem of the plant as well, and they are known as lenticels. Now describe the factors affecting the rate of photosynthesis. Very important question, that it's a life-saving process, it's a life-giving process. So what are the factors which are involved? What are the things needed for this process? Firstly, it's light. The more light there is, the faster the rate of photosynthesis. That means if it's a sunny day, if the sun is in a full flow, so that means that the photosynthesis process would be really smoother and faster. It also says plants photosynthesis faster on a sunny day than they do on a cloudy day. When it's a cloudy day, there is less light, so that means the photosynthesis process will be slower. Water. Where is the water coming? Water is coming from the ground. Too little water slows down the rate of photosynthesis. A plant which is beginning to wilt, no, wilt means just dying, okay, withering, okay, wilt because of lack of water may photosynthesize at only half of the normal rate. So that means if there is less water in the ground, if it's a drought is the condition when there is no rain around, so then the photosynthesis process will be slower, and someday it stops, even the plants die. Excuse me. Temperature is the third factor. The sunlight, as it will be higher, there is a connection between, or there is a relation between light and the temperature. When there would be enough light, the temperature would really be high. But there are also some conditions. If the temperature is around 30 degrees centigrade, it's considered the moderate temperature for photosynthesis process. Okay. Then if it goes till 40, so that means the process is becoming faster, or the rate of the process of photosynthesis is becoming faster. But once it exceeds 40, it's really extremely hot and humid conditions. So that means in that phase, what will happen? The photosynthesis process would slow down. Okay. So that's why maximizes till 40 degrees centigrade, but slows down after 40 degrees centigrade. Then Of course, another important component is carbon dioxide. What is carbon dioxide? It's the gas, exhaled gas that we breathe out. Okay, all the animals which they are breathing out, that gas is known as carbon dioxide. Its formula also you need to learn now, CO2. Okay, I've written it somewhere here. You will find it, CO2. Now, increase in the carbon dioxide, CO2, increases the rate of photosynthesis and also the growth of plants. Okay, somehow these words might be different in your notes. You learn them from there. I have written somewhere in short form. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that. Meaning is same. So there are 4 factors involved: light, then water, then temperature, and then carbon dioxide. All these 4 factors are very important, and if they are not there, so the photosynthesis process will not be continued. Then, what is the difference between plants and animals in the way they obtain their food? So there is a difference. Okay, for example, do we prepare our food? No, not at all. We obtain food from plants or from the animals which feed on plants or on other plants or other animals. Okay, but plants are called producers. What are they called? Producers. Producer means they produce food, they prepare food for us. Plants make their own food from simple raw materials. What are those raw materials? We just looked at that: water, mineral salts, then carbon dioxide, then light, then etc. And where does that process take place? In chloroplast and in presence of chlorophyll. That is the first question. And they are present in the leaves of the plant. Then raw materials like CO2 and H2O. During the process of photosynthesis, animals, this is how the plants, they prepare the food during the process of photosynthesis, whereas animals get food from plants or other animals which feed on plants. Okay, so that means plants, they all are dependent on animals, they are dependent on plants directly or indirectly. Next question is question number 5. All these are questions of this upcoming week. What substance must a plant take in order to photosynthesize? I think it should be substances. What substances? Substances. Okay, what substances must a plant take in order to photosynthesize? 2 raw materials for photosynthesis are carbon dioxide, gas, that is CO2, then that is from the air, and water from the soil or from the surrounding if it is aquatic. Excuse me. Now, what do you mean by aquatic? Aquatic comes from word aqua. Aqua means water. So if the plants are living in water, okay, they are called aquatic plants. So if that is the case, they will definitely get the water from their surrounding and carbon dioxide still also from their surrounding. But if it's a land plant, okay, if it's a land plant, that is called terrestrial plant, so then that means it would get the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and water from the soil. Okay, then next question number 6 is, what is the name of the chemical process that provides a plant with energy to carry out excuse me, all its activities? When does this process occur? Yes, my dear, you know, plants, animals, any living thing, they have a very important process in scene, and that is known as respiration. Respiration is the burning of food. Okay, whatever the food stuff is prepared in the body of living organisms, that food is consumed using oxygen, sometimes without oxygen as well. Okay, but that is a different detail or different story or different topic. I'm not talking about that. That's aerobic and anaerobic respiration. But here, that means the process is known as respiration. The chemical process that provides a plant with energy is called respiration. This process, the second part of the question was, when does this process occur? And my dear, this process occurs all the time by day and night. You know, photosynthesis does not occur day by night. It only happens or takes place while the sun is on, while it's a daytime. But respiration, it is carried out throughout the day or throughout the night, 24/7. It's continuous. But there are few things, they keep on taking place 24/7. So like your heart pumps 24/7, your respiratory system, it has to be functioning. In the same way, respiration also takes place 24/7. Why is it in why is it an advantage for most leaves to be broad and thick? This is an interesting question. Sometimes some plants, they have very broad leaves. Broad means like big one. The larger the surface area, so that means they would be able to photosynthesize more. One thing. Second part of the question is, what is the advantage if the leaves are thin? There is advantage of thin leaves as well. That means if the leaf is thin, so that means more sunlight is going to cross through it. Okay, so that means it might help to put faster or keep the rate of photosynthesis faster. It is an advantage for the leaves to be broad. Firstly, broad means big in size, so that they expose the maximum area to the sunlight needed for the photosynthesis. That's what the point I was making. Thin leaves can penetrate the sunlight through to the chloroplast, and carbon dioxide and oxygen can diffuse into and out of the leaves. Two advantages. That means oxygen is very necessary component in photosynthesis. So if the leaves are thin, so photosynthesis, carbon dioxide can easily make its way into the leaf. Then on the other hand, the byproduct of photosynthesis is oxygen. So that means if the leaves are thin enough, so that means oxygen would also be easy to escape. So these are the questions that we have seen in this presentation or in this lecture. I hope you got something. Stomata, they are the tiny pores on the underside of the leaves. There are the leaves on the bark of the tree or the stem of the tree, that is called lens cells. 4 factors involved in the photosynthesis process which affect the rate of photosynthesis. It's light, it's directly related. The faster the light or more light there is, the faster the process of photosynthesis. Then more water will help to make it faster. Then we have temperature, it has limitations. And then carbon dioxide, of course, a higher the rate of carbon dioxide, easier for the plants to photosynthesize. Then difference between plants and animals, the way they take their food is, or they strive for their food. That plants, they make their own food, animals, they depend on the food that is obtained from plants or animals. What is the substance must a plant take? And that is there are two types of different types of substances. It could include like different minerals, water, or carbon dioxide, etc. Then what is the name of the process that is all the time continued, okay, through which the plants, they take energy, and it's respiration carried out all the time by day and night. And then of course, what is the advantage for being or carrying a broad and thin leaf? There is advantage for broad leaf as well, because the plants, they get maximum area for the photosynthesis to diffuse the sunlight in. And then of course, if the leaf is thin, so that means easier for carbon dioxide and oxygen gas to diffuse in and out of the leaves. So this was all from this chapter. The name of the chapter was Photosynthesis and Respiration. I pray all of you, those who are watching me, stay blessed and God bless us. Thank you.